Well, really, what we were doing with Tribe, we kind of were looking at street style, most importantly, and taking the inspiration from very, very diverse elements. So looking at some tribes that are real, some that are imagined and kind of made up, some that are a combination of two things. And really that was a reflection on what I think is going on in international fashion and socio-economic trends at the moment. The fact that the street is influencing the catwalk as opposed to the other way around. People want authenticity, they want to develop their own style. The first theme in the Tribes is we called Home. It's this kind of new bohemian, hippie chic sort of look. So here we've got a mid-length shape, completely layered through in a very kind of cool way. So different short and longer pieces put all the way through the hair, and then finished off with just a little bit of Sassoon geometry through the fringe and through the side. So it allows the hair, you know, to kind of really move in a very, very nice kind of way, but still retain that essential geometric sort of look that Sassoon is renowned for. So the second tribe, we looked at a couple of things really. We looked at Japanese minimalism and the work of Rei Kawakubo from Comme des Garçons, who always had this kind of really interesting way of redeveloping the body shape in a sense. And you can see here we've got this really beautiful dynamic geometric shape with the idea of just cutting notches out of the fringe and then leaving longer pieces. So it's very, very kind of abstract in some ways, the asymmetric graduation as well. And then also incredible colour that works through the interior of the fringe that lays underneath the main colour. So you just kind of get glimpses of it through the hair. So very, very extraordinary. But again, I think, you know, Victoria's got that kind of amazing look. And I think this haircut, you know, works perfectly with her. The next tribe we called Fruit, and that really looked at Japanese street style, like Harajuku, that kind of very mad, the bright colours, the kind of crazy sort of makeup. And then the shape, we call this the back missing haircut. So you've got, it looks like a bob from the front, but then in the back, you know, it's a completely short boyish haircut. But because of the dynamics of the way the shape is put together, it all seems to sort of hang together as a complete shape. So very excited. And then again, the pink is just accentuating the fringe and then the corner of the line on the cheekbone. So very, very strong, very powerful, but very characterful as well, I think. So next, a tribe. It's a very British look, obviously, English eccentricity. And we call this young fogies, because fogies are kind of people who are stuck in their ways and won't change. So when you call it young fogies, it's kind of like an oxymoron. It's kind of, you know, because young people want to change and do different things all the time. And this is a very big sort of underground trend in London at the moment. And with Daisy's hair, you've got this really beautiful graduation through the back, cut into the nape. So you've got this really lovely sort of head shape, and then utilising the natural texture in the hair, cutting like a curved shape through the front, and then rounded. So it's kind of like two circles on the head, creating this brilliant shape. This is Fable. We call this Fable because it kind of is inspired by the work of the French artist Jean Cocteau, who was very close to the surrealist movement, really, in a way, and that's where we've taken the idea from, fashion and surrealism. And then with the hair itself, it's slightly looser, still with a very strong shape. We've got this triangular section through the top that just trails over a shorter fringe on the underneath. But the cool thing is that everything's kind of pointed into, so when you run your hands through the hair, it kind of, you know, does this really beautiful stuff. Graduated into the neck still, but again, not harsh lines, softening it right the way through. And then notice also that the colour is much, much softer. You've got these kind of really incredible sort of peach and apricot sort of tones. And every time you move the hair around, it does something, you know, equally as beautiful, which I think is lovely. It's got that kind of wistful sort of elegance about it. Completely opposite, we work with a theme which we call Bound. So Bound really explores fashion's continuing fascination with fetishism. So you have obviously, you know, black silhouette, and then the hair is kind of harder and stronger, sort of a tough glamour sort of look. Scissor over comb down into the nape, and then a really, really beautiful line that just runs down onto the cheekbone. And then again, you know, going for like blood red, which we kind of think is, you know, is kind of really goes with the theme. So you've just got this blood red strap of colour that runs through the front here. And then finally, we kind of thought we should do something that celebrated the global phenomenon that is hip-hop culture. but doing it in a different way. We didn't want to just do like the bright colours and the sportswear thing. So again, keeping the palette white, we've got the Sassoon bling as well. And then, you know, this hair obviously truly shows off a three-dimensional shape. So you've got the graduation that runs into the back, disconnected length through the top, and you just allow, really what you're doing, you're just allowing the natural properties of the hair to create the shape for you in a way. You know, this little fringe that just sits right up on the forehead. I think we made a conscious decision to make each theme within the collections very different. But I think also one of the great things about a Sassoon collection is once you share it with the team, they each bring their own sort of thoughts and feelings into it. So it becomes much bigger than it ever would have been if it was just me or, you know, whatever. And that's the most exciting thing, you know, to me that's the most exciting thing, when you start to share it with the team and they take it on another stage.